remember one time I did a show, and my sister came to the show. She was outside the club, and she heard a comedian outside, like smoking cigarettes. He's like, man, he do all these other people's voices, but can he do his own? And he up there going through his thing. My sister was like, I said, oh, okay. So I made as a sidebar, I made my little note. I said, you think I know what you said? I know what you said. You didn't let me in this club. I couldn't get no spot. I got to know. I don't mean to be petty, but it's sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice, man. Like I said, we didn't grow up with no big money, nothing like that. So looking back, and I'm like, why are we eating these 5 meals, but we never not have eaten. So it's a lot, a lot of sacrifice, man. I thought that was very, very valid. And then also, she and I, because I'm the oldest of 6, so it was she and I for about 6 years. Yeah.
Say word.
So it was for us for a while. So the point is, we have a really good, relationship. We're not at odds or anything like that. So fortunately, that helps, when I've gone through my adult life with dating women, different things like that. I never, didn't really have no big issues like that with women. It's always just been kind of cool. And since I've seen her, I just, she's solid, man. She's strong, But yeah, I'm the oldest of 6, man.
Wow.
I didn't know you was older than 6.
Y'all had a little Wayne's family around
Yeah,
there.
right. Man.
When did y'all know y'all were funny? What was there? Was there a moment? I know what my moment was, but when
I knew I was goofy. That's funny. I remember being goofy and being silly, but it felt like more. It didn't feel specific to funny at the time. I guess kind of now I could probably identify it because people were laughing, but I was entertaining myself. I was the only child entertaining myself. You know how you ask little kids what they want to be when they grow up?
Yeah.
I would say outlandish answers to see adults' reactions. So like the more outlandish, the better.
Was it to be a porno actor?
It was way worse than that. It was to like, it'd be like, what do you want to be? I want to be a police officer. What about you? I want to be a fireman. What do you want to be? I want to be a woman beater. It would be like stuff I knew I wasn't supposed to be saying, just to see the shock on their face and hear my homeboys giggle. I didn't know nothing about beating women. I was maybe 5. I had never seen abuse or none of that stuff. I knew that this was taboo.
Yeah.
And it was like but that was me entertaining myself very young.
That's hilarious.
Never put my hands on a woman, never before, during, after, never saw anything like this. But I knew as a child, I shouldn't say this.
Yeah. What about you, Landon?
Well, I remember making my friends laugh. I knew that I at least had that in my pocket at some point. I just remember that was just, I didn't really think about it too much as a kid. Like I said, I wasn't a class clown, but I do remember, like in the 3rd grade, we used to have these journals, and I remember writing whatever little roast I had at the time, like something like hacky, like your teeth so yellow make the sun jealous, like stupid stuff like that. I remember writing that down, and I could draw a little bit, so I remember drawing a diagram of somebody's teeth, that kind of silly stuff. But really, I felt like I used to do, the church talent shows, and I remember I used to just impersonate people in the church, but I didn't know that was a thing, and I didn't know it was a thing low key until I got into stand up. I was like, oh, this is, because like my family does them too, and they don't even necessarily do people like famous people, but my family, we all go into stories that way, just like, oh man, you remember what Mr. Johnson said at the thing, and they do the voice. So, but not till stand up, where I even knew it was a thing, and that's also when I remember hearing the hate about it. And because for a while, I got up, I left it alone because I remember one time I did a show, and my sister came to the show. She was outside the club, and she heard a comedian outside, like smoking cigarettes. He's like, man, the Nick can do all these other people's voices, but can he do his own? And he up there going through his thing. My sister was like, I said, oh, okay. So I made as a sidebar, I made my little note. Nigga, I said, you think I know what you said? I know what you said. You didn't let me in this club. I couldn't get no spot. I gotta know. I don't mean to be petty, but I just remember people where, it's just like I just remember the people who have done right by me, and the people who haven't done so right. But all this to say that maybe in high school somewhere, I don't know.
What's your sign?
Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
May 14th.
Cause what about you?
Leo.
Leo. Dang. I feel like the little punk out of both of y'all.
Is you a Pisces?
I'm a Capricorn. No, Joe, I'm a Cancer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of successful people are Cancers though.
Right.
Even Will Smith just said in one of his. I mean, it's a lot of successful people in every goddamn sign. But I mean, like Kevin Hart, like some people that I identify with, are Cancers. I say that because London, you're a good. Well, to answer my own question, I remember we were in preschool, and I think we was all in trouble or something. And I remember cracking a joke, and all the kids started laughing. And then that's back when teachers would still hit you. I remember we all got popped with the ruler.
I
And
remember
was
that.
like,
I got hit before. Looking back, I guess it was abuse, but I did remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that was one when I made people laugh. And then I remember in 5th grade, I was like on the classroom floor, and the teacher was like, Justin, get off the floor. I said, get up off that floor. Everybody do the dinosaur. And the classroom was like, ah! Everybody started dying laughing. I was like, I think I got something. Yes, but that's when I realized, I was like, I think I'm kind of funny. London is a good dude. And this is what I mean by that. That's why I asked what your sign was, because, I mean, I don't really know what's the traits of a Taurus. But London is some type of person that he'll just text you like, hey, man, just checking in on you. You need anything. And I started doing that more because of London. Because I was like, that's something I need to start practicing, is like reaching out to people. What I am good at is being supportive of other people's work. So I'm known for throwing up somebody else's stuff in my IG story or something like that. But just reaching out to somebody, checking on them, making sure that they good. Where did that come from, or where did the thought of that come from for you to do that?
Some of it came from
I don't know if he got COVID or.
No, you know what? Sometimes people say you supposed to drink water when you, like, to help, but I feel like water be causing the flinch. I be like off of that. To the opposite, I hate it.
But anyway, my bad.
No, you good. But some of that came from because like I lost a brother as well in 2015. So when you lose somebody that close that you grow with, sometimes the way you look at times changes. And I realized that, I'm like, how do you want to be remembered? Like, what are we doing here? Because at my brother's service, people had a lot of positive things to say. But of course, naturally you say, well, if I go, what people gonna say about me? And how do you? Because that's why sometimes I just try to do it, make the calls, because I think a lot of people want to make these calls, but we just keep thinking we'll do it tomorrow, we'll get around to it, and we really mean that, but just life be just moving, and we just look up and it'd be like you said, 6 months, and be like, oh shoot. That's one of the reasons, I just try to do it. But then two, also, I realized it's just like in the same way you want to try to reach out, so that if you got a podcast or something, you need people. It ain't like all of a sudden when you need them. It really just like,
right.
I do try to tap in with them. Not selfishly, but really just we cool. Because sometimes too, everybody isn't as cool as I'm not gonna see BT for 6 months. Now when I see BT, some people really get like this. They like, I ain't heard from you.
Right.
I didn't think I was that important to you.
Right.
I'm just living. But people they get in this thing. So I do just try to, just touch down. Like I said, I will try to repost people's stuff, man, and do that, because I might not, or even that I have, unless you guys don't have anything, but even that I try to buy niggas merch. I try to do that and just get a shirt, and even the comic is not even. We ain't buddies like that, but
that changed the whole weekend for you.
I try to get somebody's merch. I try to be a decent friend in my heart, in my heart.
So I got a surprise for y'all. Neither one of y'all is slipping out of here without these journeys. Without these journeys, I need to know how you got the hustle. I want to talk Ballers. I want to talk Caden. I want to talk MacGyver. I want to talk Rush Hour. Oh, you niggas are not slick. So I am a huge fan of the hustle, right?
Yeah.
I love shows within this journey. I know this was their first walk down that path. How did it happen? Is that your first major like network show or first major role?
Yeah, that basically at the time we just come out of we as in Justin and I, we just finished like the CBS diversity training or is that what it's called? Not diversity training. Showcase. Yeah, so I finally got an agent, and that was just one of the auditions they sent me out, to read. And after I did the audition, I got a call back. I remember, however we met. I got the part, and the showrunner, Prentice Penny, was just like, "Yo, let's go sit down. Let's have a talk at Starbucks." And we kind of chopped it up. But again, like I said, the dope thing about that process was the fact that he purposely chose us because we didn't have resumes. And then like it really was like a crash course on learning what to do with the camera, just learning how to play in the frame. I was coming from stand up, so a lot of stuff was over the top. I had to just relax and realize like that looks crazy close up. And just knowing how to just do an eye roll, just rip, playing it subtle. And those guys they were all really good people, and because it was Fuse's first scripted, we did 6 episodes, shot in LA, but we're supposed to be from Brooklyn or something anyway. We was a rap duo group, Brooklyn's finest. We recorded somewhere like, man, it might have been Burbank. Recorded in Burbank, all the music stuff, and then we shot it like 20 minutes from here. So, but that was just one of those processes. You just never know. Sometimes, again, it's not about your resume. In that case, it was because I didn't have a resume that it worked. So I would try to tell actors, man, just be encouraged, man, because you just never know how your blessing's gonna show up. Sometimes we be looking for a particular thing, and it's not like that. Sometimes we got to ask God for what we want and then just get out of the way of it. Because I remember even before, when I started touring with Chris Tucker, before then I remember all the NACA stuff was popping off, all the college stuff. And in my mind, I was like, man, I'm ready because now I'm looking at the Sydneys, the James, our whole class of cats was just on the road. I was like, man, what's that about? So I knew I felt ready for the tour, but I didn't know that particular thing wasn't for me.
Right.
My situation was, my tour was with Chris. How it happened that way, I don't know, but that's to say, we got to just believe in what it is we want, be ready for it, and then just back up and get in the position to get what it is we're asking for. But I think we ask, and then we ask God and then get in the way.
Right. I'm
like, yo, if you want a TV show, all right, be ready for the TV show. We may be looking for it from this network. He said, network, I got your own. Or, that's why it's really encouraging. Shout out to Kev on stage. And I'm just like, I was like, by the time the game really catches up, he's going to be on one of these Mount Rushmores of just independent, like, yo, we remember seeing it go from a little Office and Def Jam and a little this and that. And I'm like, yo.
Until a studio.
I mean,
some Tyler Perry stuff.
I said, and like I say, he's breaking this stuff down, and I'm like, yo, he really. You talking about as far as a building a brand? Ooh, I'm like, that's what makes Tyler so dope is that whether Hollywood gets it or not, it doesn't matter. He got a million other people who do. So, what's there to argue about?
Yeah. Jay, is Stomp the Yard first? Is that the first major thing, or I know you got an extensive resume, bro. Trying to research you is
Stomp the Yard. They done knew. The Gospel was before. That was actually Idris Elba's first feature film. He was coming off of The Wire. That's when I found out he was British because he was talking during cut. He was like, so I'm talking to, and I was like, what the hell? Because that
was the beginning of the takeover.
Yeah. And so what happened was Will Packer, he's from my hometown, movie producer, do all of Kevin Hart movies and all that type of stuff. from the same hometown, St. Petersburg. I met him as a student. He came to speak to the students. So I was in like some program where all the students that was doing academically well. They went to some type of function or whatever. He was the speaker. He said he was the entertainment. This was before he did any feature films. He did like just straight to DVD movies at this time, like called Trois. So he had a bunch of movies called Trois. I bet you do.
Yeah, Trois too.
Yeah. And so he said how he was in film and he had a place in Atlanta. And after the program, I walked up to him. I'm like, yo, my name's Justin Hires, and you know I'm an actor and I want to get into films. He was like, well, he gave me his card. He said, if you ever in Atlanta, hit me up. Ironically, I got accepted to Clark Atlanta University. So I was up in Atlanta. So when I got to Atlanta freshman year of college, I hit him up and I said, yo, I'm in Atlanta. I'm trying to, what's up? He had just got whatever deal to do his first feature film called The Gospel. That was with Screen Gems. That's like a part of Sony. Yeah. So he was like, come on set to be a background actor. I said, all right, cool. I don't give a shit. Now, I went to a performing arts high school, So I was like, cool. I asked my friends if they wanted to come with me. It was during the school day. They were like, no, we got school. All right, respect it. I went to set. 5 minutes being on set, I reintroduced myself. I'm the one from St. Pete. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, let me introduce you to the director, Rob Hardy. Rob Hardy.
I know Rob Hardy.
Yeah. Exactly. He directed some of the Kanan episodes,
Rob's doing.
So Rob said, well, what you could do? I said, bro, I could do whatever you want me to do. Sing, dance, act. I could fly if you want me to do whatever you need. This 18-year-old Justin. I'm like, I could do whatever.
Long hair Justin?
Long hair Justin, yeah. I said, I could do whatever you want me to do. They looked at each other, whispered in each other's ear. They said, we want you to audition for this part. They said, there's another actor not showing up for this role. We gonna give you these sides. That's a script. Anybody that's wondering what sides are. That's a little script with your scene. Go learn it real quick. We go put you on tape in like 10 minutes. So I go in
10 minutes.
I don't know, bro.
Boy.
Yeah. So I go in Will and Rob's trailer. This how long ago this was. They was sharing a joint trailer, Will and Rob. Go in their trailer. I'm going over the lines. They come in with somebody to record me. I still had the script. I don't think I had it memorized, but they just want me to, see if I could deliver. I did the audition. Mind you, this is 10, now 20 minutes after arriving on set to be a background actor.
Wow.
So they look at, they review the tape. They say, hey, man, we're going to give you this part. Tomorrow, we want you to do this role in the movie. So that's how I got my first lines in a feature film going there.
You got like one of the true like Hollywood stories and they'll be like, man, sometimes at the background you get bumped up.
Yeah. I still get a check from Zoe 101. Remember the show Zoe 101?
Yeah.
That's who was that? Is that Britney Spears' sister?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like not Nickelodeon. It's like
I think it was either Nickelodeon or Disney.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back to that. I knew her sister was fucking. If you remember, she got pregnant. What's her name? Jamie Lynn Spears, I believe is the name. I wish we had a research department on this show. But Jamie Lynn Spears, I believe is her name. I remember, I could tell by the way a woman walks if she's a virgin or not. I remember that was something I used to pride myself on. It ain't even just the hips for me. It was like how close their legs are together. They like their thighs or whatever when they walk. Because when they still a virgin, this sounds creepy as hell, but remind you, I was fucking 18 at the time. When their legs are kind of more separated.
Right.
But after they lose their virginity, they're kind of closer together. I remember being on set of Zoe 101, seeing her walking just in the distance. She the star of the show. And when she was walking, I said, she ain't no virgin. Bruh, maybe 3 months later, it came out that she was pregnant.
Wow.
And I was like,
What up, man? It's your boy BT Kingsley, man. Killin the Pod is here. Been a great time, man. Subscribe to the page. You here? Press that button.
So anyways, to get back to the story, Atlanta, that's how I got the gospel. Will and Rob, the gospel was moderately successful. It was successful enough that they then was able to do Stomp the Yard. And so when Stomp the Yard came around, they was like, Justin, we want you to audition for this role. And I had to audition 5 times to say 2 lines in that movie. but that movie went off to be like at least a hood classic.
No, it's definitely that's one of the most successful. I want to say January releases or something like that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. It was something in that note, but it was like because I remember when it dropped, it did so well that it was like one of them talks of the town type thing.
Yeah, it was. I know it was. I think #1 at the box office at least like 2 weeks in a row. That was like Chris Brown. I think feature film debut. Neo was in that movie. Yep. Columbus Short, who always changes his phone number every 3 weeks. He was in that film. I mean, that's what really catapulted his career. So yeah, man.
Who directed that?
Savon White. Did he do any Raising Kanan episodes?
I don't think so.
I think he might have did some Power episodes. But Savon White directed that, man. And so yeah, that was a great experience. That was fun. That's when movies was new in Atlanta. And so everybody, they weren't new in Atlanta, but they was really becoming a thing. And yeah, man, it was a part, and it was almost like Clark Kent and Superman. And what I mean by that is, on Clark Atlanta campus, I was the only college student. I was the only actor in Stomp the Yard that was actually a college student. Oh wow! Everybody else 25 and up.
Yeah,
in that movie, Darren Henson, goddamn 54 years old. Playing.
Ain't no lie. Bye. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Brian White and all these people old as hell. I'm the only person that's actually a college student. So I'm at Clark Atlanta going to class. Don't nobody know yet that I'm in the movie, but they do know. I think they know by that time I'm the dude that was in the gospel. So at least I got a little clout on campus. But I'm on campus doing Stomp the Yard, everything regular. Then I go over to Morris Brown. That's where we filmed it at. We go on their college campus, and I'm getting treated like at least a B-list celebrity,
right?
By the background and hair and makeup and everything. So it's almost like I'm living two different worlds, or two different lives in college at like the age of like 20 or whatever. Yeah, but that shit was fire.
Mm-hmm. I think y'all slick. Yeah, look at those good ass stories. Come on, man.
No.
So Ballers is after The Hustle.
Okay, here's my agent story. So after I finished The Hustle, I think I'm in this holding space deal. They don't know if they're gonna pick up for another season, so they just kind of was sending us some bread to kind of keep us on ice. And at this time, I'm still doing a couple of dates with Chris, and my agents wanted me to go do a beer commercial. At this time, I'm still teaching a beer commercial.
What you said?
That's gonna be the key word.
Is that commercial?
That's gonna be great. Those cousins are great.
Hey, Lamar Morris started out in them commercials. Now he got an Emmy.
I had a whole conversation with Lamar about just that. I'll circle back. Go ahead, finish what you said.
So at the time, I'm still working in the after school program, which is an interesting thing because the teachers and them and the students used to watch the show. They're like, "What you still doing here?" I'm like, "You ain't on until it's this is the grind of it, like TV, and I'm handing out basketball, so whatever." Anyway, my agent wanted me to do this beer commercial, and I was like, "Nah, I don't really want to do that because I'm still teaching. I didn't want to endorse it, and be behind this, whatever the campaign was." Long story short, they were just like, the conversation ended kind of with the thing of like, "Hey man, you're lucky we even want to represent you."
Nigga, let me tell you what I was about to say to be funny. I said, but I don't want to cut him off. What I was about to say is, you're a dumb nigger. That's what I was about to say.
Bruh.
It ain't as funny now because my timing is off. That's what I was thinking. I'm gonna get back to that. Continue though.
So yeah, I got that call, and I was like, "Man, that don't feel right." I'm at my after school program, sitting down on one of the benches. I was like, "Man, that felt ugly." So then I remember calling Chris. Asking Chris Tucker, I was like, "Man, what should I do about this?" And he was like, "Man, you don't need to be over there like that." I said, "Well, how'd I get out of this?" And I remember I spoke to like his lawyer or something. He just and they basically just said, "Hey, just write this one line, which is, thank you for your services. They're no longer needed." I said, "Just that?" He said, "That's it." I just sent that email, and I was done with them, man. But it's just the same, man. People think they, and what was cool. So
stay there because I want you to lose this. Because I feel like in these spaces we're allowed to talk more to the people that are watching. Because there's probably I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's a fair amount of people with dreams, desires, and or in the business trying to see how people got to this path. If you have representation and you need to get out of it, actors that have representation, bro, you can leave. Don't ever let them make you think that you can't leave. You can leave because you and me actors would be like, "Oh, I don't know, man." Like in that same position, like I don't know if I get out of it. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Bye. Now you have to pay them for work that was established while you were with them, but once you gone, you gone, and it is okay.
Yeah,
and they will be fine. Especially the small boutique ones, they get left all the time. They get their heart broke all the time.
And then people have to remember that the agents do work for you. It's not. I think sometimes we forget. It's just as artists, and we be like scrambling trying to pick. Like, but they work for you, bro.
Yeah,
they work for you.
And it's sometimes you outgrow them, and it's time to move on. Sometimes you be insensitive. Because I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and it was like the representation was telling them that like these pictures don't work. You look shorter. You look something. And I was like, well, that's not. I don't know if that's a reason. You just got your feelings hurt. It was like that's not a reason to leave. Sometimes, especially if they know what they're talking about, or you trusted them and was. Please, I want to be with you. You know, I know that you will help me. When they start shaping you to guide you for whatever y'all discuss, then let your ass be shaped. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just want to make sure we didn't miss that note. Hey man, you can leave. One email.
Yes, yeah. It's the deal. So, and what was cool about that? So, fast forward a year later, whatever it was, I landed Ballers, and all I was thinking about, I said, man, he probably was on a Sunday night laying up with his wife and messed around and said, is that the guy? I just was like, because again, when I landed Ballers without them, it was good time. But I think the reason that I landed Ballers without an agent was so that it would be a testimony. It was supposed to be a little different. So for people who feel like, man, I gotta have this mega team to land something, like sometimes it worked out a little differently. You know, it worked out for me a little differently.
I got something similar to that, which is after Rush Hour ended. So I write, y'all know I write also. Before I filmed Rush Hour, I wrote my own TV script called Comedy Rock Stars, right? This is before Kevin Hart was even saying that's something me, Ron G, Sidney Castillo, DC Irvin, trying to see if I'm leaving out anybody. But we used to call ourselves the Comedy Rock Stars. We used to and I remember Tony Baker was like, I'm leaving the group. I'm leaving the group. That's what he said, but that's just something we used to call ourselves. Okay. I had wrote a script called Comedy Rock Stars. I gave it to my reps as a just in case Rush Hour gets canceled. This is the script that we could go out with. So I gave it to, and I'm at a big agency at this point because I'm on Rush Hour. They read the script. Oh, I'm talking about every agent, agent there in this huge room. They have you in this huge room. You sitting at the head of the table. Oh, they're telling you how you the greatest thing ever. You the next person. You the next this. You the next that. Oh, we read the script. We didn't know you was a writer. We got the literary department. We got the this department, that department. That. Cool. Right? All right. Rush Hour gets canceled. And at the same, I was like, well, man, let's go out with this Comedy Rock Stars script, right? At the same time that happens, Jamie Foxx comes on the scene with his own show called White Famous. I see it in the trades.
Wow.
Same concept. It's about an up-and-coming comedian touring with an older comedian.
Right.
I'm not sure if White Famous is exactly like that, but it was in the same
vein, yeah.
In the same vein, right? So I hit up my reps. I said, hey man, let's hurry up and go out with this. No, I said, matter of fact, I said, send me the White Famous script. I said, now I believe in my Comedy Rock Star script, but if the White Famous script is better than my script, then I'll just audition for White Famous. They said, cool. They sent me the White Famous script. I read it. I didn't like it. I could tell it was based around black comedians, but you could tell the way it was written. It wasn't written by a black writer.
Right.
And I got on the phone with my reps. I said, hey man, I wasn't really feeling the script. And I was like, I could tell it didn't seem like authentic. It didn't seem like it was a black writer that wrote this. They gonna call me back the next day or whatever. I'm on the road at this point too, because this Rush Hour had just ended. Yeah, we're gonna let you go. We feel like you're being arrogant. We think you're arrogant.
Wow.
I know the writer of that show. So now he in his feelings. See, I didn't know the writer was his homeboy. But you see what I'm saying?
Was they white?
Yes. Exactly. So I was correct. My feelings was correct. I could tell by reading it. This wasn't written by no black person. This person is writing what they think a black person sounds like. But I could tell from the writing, no black person wrote this. Well, we think you're arrogant, and we think you're coming across arrogant, and we're gonna let you go.
Those are the words?
Yes.
Arrogant is crazy.
Woo! So I said, well, cool, you know, that's fine, whatever. So they dropped me from the agency. So this is one of the top 3 agencies. If anybody know Hollywood is CAA, WME, and UTA. Those are like the top 3 agencies. So it was one of the top 3 agencies. They dropped me from the agency. Cool. So I'm out there on the road about to go perform or whatever. When I'm getting this information, I'm with my cousin at the time. He was my road manager at the time. Bruh, maybe like the next week, I get a call. Yo, CBS wanna meet with you.
The next week.
Hey, CBS want to meet with you about MacGyver. I said, oh, okay. Mind you, I don't got an agent at this point.
Wow.
See what I'm saying? Yo, CBS want to meet with you about. I said, well, MacGyver's already, because I pay attention to the trades. Trades is like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline. I knew the show was already picked up. I said, well, that's already picked up. They said, well, yeah, they want to meet with you. Okay. I go in to meet with the showrunner, Peter Linkoff, right? While I'm in the meeting, he talking to me. He was like, well, yeah, we want to do this with the character, this with the character. And I'm like, I think they offering me this. I'm like, I don't think this is a audition
at all. Yeah.
I think like he's trying to get me to do it, if anything. So I'm like, okay, yes, that's what cross it. What? Tell me more. Well, this is the things that I see about the character, and then how BT play a part in this story. I had that meeting, maybe that night or whatever. That's when we was at the Flappers in Claremont.
Absolutely.
BT was opening for me. Killin, by the way. I heard what the lady said too. But your feature always supposed to be funnier than you anyways. I heard she was like, I thought you was funnier. I heard she said that to BT about me. I was like, he was though. BT killed. But before the show started, I'm in there with BT. I'm kind of down a little because I'm like, damn, my Rush Hour done got canceled. All this shit, we chopping it up. I'm in my feelings a little bit, but I know I just had this meeting with CBS. I get the phone call. They're offering you the role.
We were backstage.
And we was backstage, and BT was right there when that shit happened.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That shit is
But I said all of that to say, to piggyback on your story, which is I didn't have no agent when I booked MacGyver. So that was 5 seasons of residuals.
Stupid.
I mean, not residuals. 5 seasons of commission that my agency missed out on because they dropped me over that White Famous Comedy Rock Stars script.
Wow.
And White Famous came out. It got canceled because, and it wasn't, Jay Farrow ended up starring in it, and it ain't had nothing to do with Jay Farrow. It was the script.
It was unauthentic.
It wasn't authentic. So yeah.
Man, this boy helps. Look at you guys. Yeah, y'all thought y'all was gonna not get these journeys. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, bro. It's like I remember the transitions for both of these things happening, and like when you are my reference point for. I don't even know why the number's in my head, but when I think of when somebody says how much money do somebody make on TV, and I was like, well, is it network? And I was yeah, and I was like, okay, are they the star? Yeah. And then I don't think you ever had a conversation with me about it. I don't know why I have a number, but it's directly tied to you in Rush Hour.
Oh, really?
For what I think it is. I was like, yeah, well, you know, and I've said this out loud. Yeah, you know what Justin made per episode. I don't even know. I don't know where this information. Bro, I have no idea where this information came from. I have no idea where it came from.
What's the number? You think
50?
Not in the beginning. I don't think I ever made 50 from Rush Hour an episode. I think it was under that.
So, but no, it's 50 in my head.
In the story you've been telling.
In the story I've been telling. So it's like, I'm like trying to. So if
now MacGyver on the other hand,
Animal's robe.
Your boy, I know, right? Where's my Roman cigar? MacGyver on the other hand. That's how we're able to pay for this studio. Yeah, I'm making some bread on MacGyver.
No, but I'm like, but I was like, you know, you watch your homies in these journeys, and it's like, oh man, you don't know how things are going to happen or why they're going to happen, but I remember, y'all, it's the delivery. Getting the opportunity, great. Being on the thing, great. The thing being a thing, also great. But how were you in the thing is the question, because you were so good in Rush Hour. That's why that conversation happens like it happened for MacGyver.
That's a fact.
Because of your how you establish things on the hustle, that's how Baller happens, how it happens. So it's like, so let me ask this. I have a theory that the whole industry is based on good tape. Once you have good tape, then everything else kind of unfolds, because
Nope, I'm gonna dismiss that.
Watch this out.
All right, I'm listening.
But good tape, let's say Tiffany, right? Tiff has always been super talented. She's always been super great. She was in whatever she was in. Girls Trip is a film, but it's also good tape. It's good tape that the whole world saw. So it's like, well, we know she good. So in that conversation that happens with MacGyver is because Rush Hour is really good tape. It's like, which is different than you and your homeboys at a cell phone trying to film something. It's like, no, a lot of those scenes with The Rock are you and him going toe to toe, and you might not can say this, but at the time, The Rock is on fire. But I know he's learning something in this space because he had never done TV before. So obviously done all the wrestling and so on and so forth. You learn all the different character traits that I learned in wrestling and all the moments I got to be in improv. You learn all the stuff he understands from being in film. But now TV is a different nuance, and there has to be a tether of back and forth of how you guys are. And in the scenes, I see both of you guys playing in the world. I don't see no fear or no energy. Like, you don't feel like, oh, this is The Rock, I'm gonna like, no. You going back and forth with one of the best to ever do it. That is the London Brown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when that back and forth happens, everybody sees it. How does one, address the thing that you were finna say, and two, how does being on film at a high level elevate everything else that comes down?
Well, this is what I was gonna say. I think good tape lasts for one project or two. Meaning, there's no reason why me or London should be auditioning right now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The good tape lasted probably from Ballers to Raising Canaan. You see what I'm saying?
You're only good as your last thing.
My good tape lasted from Rush Hour to MacGyver. So when they then asked me to audition for Matlock, well, why would I audition for Matlock if it's on CBS? Rush Hour and MacGyver was on CBS. That's over 100 episodes of good tape that y'all have of me.
Got it.
And you're asking me to audition for Matlock. Well, that's absurd to me. And no, I don't want to play the same character, but now he's a lawyer. So, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was what I was gonna push back on when it came to that.
You know, I can hear where you're coming from, because when I was doing Ballers, I had worked every year. Every year there was a hiatus throughout the seasons, but all of those were just offers. So, and that's what I did. I think a TV film with me and Jason Weaver. And what's Omar's ex? Omar Gooden's ex, the chick.
I don't know.
Angel.
Yeah.
Angel Caldwell.
We did something. Me, her, and Jason Weaver did something. Then me and Kyla Pratt did something. Anyway, that's to say that while that show was running,
Nigga, we need to get Kyla Pratt on this show.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what we need. I'm listening.
Yeah. It's in producer mode still.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, so so those things were offered. So, but also, I do understand where he's coming from. It's like, what the tape? Like, the tape is this is the tape. This is the. We're not sure. This is the insurance right here. Look at the tape. But, you know, it's just always interesting, you know. And sometimes I think, too, sometimes Hollywood just want it's like who can put, you know, people in seats.
Right,
you know, they just want to know who can, you know, famous enough to do this or that. That's why, you know, it's just a matter of sometimes just that right. And that's why I love the Tiffany Haddish story, or at least as far as the girls trip moment, because it's just like, so many times that people just need that I'm like, yo, just put them in the. It was such a
Turn
great
the lights
setup.
on, bro.
She got the heavy names. So even if you know, it's the same thing with Dwayne. Even if you didn't know who I was, since my scenes was with him, you by default had to look at me because I was there. And with her, she had these. She had the ladies around her who had got extensive resumes. They all been in the game 20-some plus years. They wasn't a comic relief. It was just like she was in a nice, solid, such a great beacon of light in the middle of all the names. It's a big project, and they're like, yo, we're gonna let you do the Tiffany thing here.
Yeah, and it's
boom.
Yeah.
And without competing with nobody else to do it. Not saying the other ones weren't funny, but I'm saying that was a real nice highlight. And then also just to see Tiffany be Tiffany, we was like, it was just a.
When you heard
setup.
about it, you knew it was gonna happen. I remember hearing about the Tiffany thing. I remember hearing. I know Tiffany. I've seen her on stage. I know she's hilarious. I know she's a ball of energy. I know she's loving yada 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 yada. Oh yeah, Tiffany got this movie coming out. Oh, that's great, man. Congrats, man. That's gonna be dope, man. Oh yeah, man. I heard Tiffany got this movie coming out with Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah. Oh yeah, man. That's dope, man. That's congratulations. That's dope. Oh yeah, man. I heard Tiffany got this movie coming out. Is Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah, and it's rated R or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gave Tiffany Haddish a hard rated R. Not saying because Keanu's not too far from that space, and I thought she was amazing in that too. I was like,
great in that movie.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. I say, oh, that's it. I said, y'all gave Tiff a hard rated R, and y'all gonna let her get loose? Shit.
She got it. I used to always tell people, this was before she popped. Me and Tiffany, we got like pilots together. We go way back. I used to always tell people she's the Martin Lawrence. She's the female Martin Lawrence of comedy. And
Absolutely.
What I meant by that was, as soon as she get a space to be able to be her rated R self, she's out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew all the stuff I seen her in. I was like, that's not her. She's rated R. And I'm like, whenever she get the platform to be rated R, it's a wrap. So when Girl Strip came around, like you said, and it was rated R, I already knew she was out of here.
Yeah, and it's not like it was a limitation. Like that's the only thing she could do. It's just like when you Tony Roberts said it the best. I was having a conversation with him one time about like navigating the industry, and he was talking about, I think he was talking about Mike Epps and Uncle Buck. And like why the show, why it felt, because it was like, no, it's good, but it feels like there's something disconnecting, and just letting it be free in the space. And I don't know if he was talking about himself or Mike. He was like, well, you can't raise hyenas inside. He said you can't raise hyenas inside the house. It's like you got to let them be free, and when they're free, then you understand you understand the magnitude of having this much talent. Let turn the lights on, bro.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? I was just thinking while you was talking, I was like, why was it Martin Lawrence was able to do what he did on Martin? But the difference is he had Def Jam first.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? The world was still able to discover him in his authentic rated R self first.
Yep. Then
we followed him over to Martin.
Yep.
And Tiffany, she didn't have that Def Jam space, but she did have Girls Trip.
Yep.
And that's when we fell in. That's when
and
the world.
She had Def Jam too.
She did have Def Jam.
She had the set on Def Jam.
That's true.
But you're right though. Mm-hmm. The thing was Girls Trip was and then the because even when you see her in there's a movie that kind of goes under the radar that she did it's the one with it's like set older, and she's like when you know what I'm talking about, like Melissa McCarthy, and they're like the mob bosses or whatever it is. But it was like she had this beautiful turn in the film. I was like, I was like, there it is right there, you guys. That is a A-list. When you see somebody on screen doing that, when I've seen you on screen, when I've seen you on screen, when you see your friend, you see him, you're like, oh no. I speak about us in a way where we ain't second to nobody.
Right.
No, the legends I know live right now, right amongst us. Whether the projects have come along or whatever, it's like that's all irrelevant. I'm telling you that I'm watching. Mm-hmm. This is one of the best. I'm watching, and this is one of, you know what I'm saying? It's like, however long it take them to catch up, Y'all catch up when y'all catch up.
How you feeling about where you at in your career and the things you've accomplished? Like, is there a part of you that's like, I know you want to accomplish more. I mean, I think that goes without saying. But just how are you feeling about where your place is right now for the amount of time you done been out here?
Yeah, it's a like a humble comfort, but I'm still very aggressive in what I'm pursuing, and now I understand that whenever I'm intentional, it ain't never not worked out for me. So these commercials are not by happenstance. I took every commercial class in the city. I took Digital Dog. I took Mike Pointer's How I See Your Commercials. I took Killian's. I took all of them at every level, all the levels, all of them. So this is the payoff on the under, because the first one is like 2017 is the Ford campaign, but the visibility of it isn't there, but the money's there. And I'm like, okay. And then there's like a small Skittles thing, and then there was me getting rep, and with the agencies for commercials, y'all know this, it's like 2 or 3 of the casting houses like you, and that's it. They're gonna keep bringing you in because I'm going to deliver good tape. I don't care what it is. If I'm speaking in it, bro, for like the last maybe 2.5, 3 years, if I have a speaking role, I got a 98% callback ratio.
Yeah.
If I have a speaking role and it's anything but slightly humorous, and it's like I'm like, if it's 5 of us and we all got speaking roles, that kind of sometimes falls to the wayside. But if I'm in the right spot, 89%, you know what I mean, like avails. Like, it was something crazy for like, it's been a hot streak. It's like, oh no. And then it was like 70% booking. And then there was just conflicts. I can't do this one because I'm doing this one. And I can't do this one because I'm doing this one. I can't do this because I just did this. It's like, I'm still on that, but it was moving. So it's like, okay, again, I don't know how it's all going to play out. Here's the thing. This is the unspoken part. I know everything's fine today. If I stop today, everything's fine and my life will be great. Because, hey man, it is what it is. If I wanted to start a school for commercials right now, I would live a very comfortable life teaching people about the space, because I did 33 in the past 2.5 years.
Damn.
33 what?
33 commercials.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Negro.
It's been a lot in the past. It's probably in its totality. It's probably 33 in the last since 2021, 2022. It's like 30 of them, like 29, 30.
I tell you what,
and I'm counting spots.
We know who paying for this. Who paying for this podcast?
Yeah, I'm counting spots, not companies, because it might be 17, 19 companies, but like Xfinity was 2 different spots, and Walgreens was like 2 different spots, and it's like, so it's like, no, how many different commercials did I actually see? So it's like, now how do I pivot that to the Lamorne conversation? I saw Lamorne at this thing I was working on with JaVale McGee, and they sat him down. This fresh off the Emmy, I just saw the Saturday Night Live thing, and it was fresh. And I was like, Lamorne, I met in North Hollywood, and I saw him, and he was doing commercials at the time, and I was taking all the things, and I said, hey bro, listen, I mean, you killing these commercials, bro, because Lamorne was the guy. And I was like, how are you, like, what is happening? And I ain't never, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all never seen this. He was like, yeah, man, here's my agents, hit them. And I was like, what? He gave me their car. And I was like, and it was like, it might have been Abrams or somebody at the time. It was like, it wasn't like he's like, man, call him, I'm done. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm kind of done with commercials. I'm pivoting. I'm on to some other shit. And I said, okay, thanks. And fast forward to maybe 7 months, he was on New Girl. I think it was probably right before he booked it.
And you know the story about New Girl?
Mm-mm.
It was between me and him.
Say word.
It was between me and him. This is when I was doing 21 Jump Street. I'm in New Orleans filming the movie. My agents hit me up, say, yeah, we got this audition for this new Fox show called New Girl. And they want you to audition. I said, all right. I put myself on tape. Mm-hmm. One of my cast members in
with you?
In 21 Jump Street. Mm-hmm. His name was Brett Laperouse. He did the audition tape with me, submitted it, Yeah, they want you to fly out here and read. Now, he had already auditioned 10 times prior. Lamorne. I didn't know this. I found out all this later because originally Damian Wayans Jr. was cast as the black dude.
He was on there.
But in the pilot, it was Damian Wayans Jr. playing Coach. Damian Wayans Jr. was already contractually on a TV show called Happy Endings on ABC.
Yes.
I remember that.
So they had to replace Damian Wayans Jr. because ABC was like, no, y'all can't have Damian Jr. Matter of fact, word on the street is ABC picked up Happy Endings for another season specifically as an FU to Fox because they also was trying to use Damian Wayans Jr. for New Girl. So they renewed Happy Endings. They had to fill that spot. But Lamorne auditioned in that initial round where Damian Wayans Jr. So he had already auditioned 9-10 times prior to when I even arrived on the scene.
Right.
So now here I am. Damian Wayans can't do New Girl now. Now they got to replace, but they know they want Lamorne. They brought me in as they call it the ringer. And the ringer is you need somebody you could show to the studio. Well, listen, here's somebody else we found, but we really want Lamorne. But here's somebody else we found. He's good. He's great also. He's great, but we really want this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know all of this at the time. This is how you learn how the business work. So I go read with casting, I believe. They bring me back again. Then I read with the stars. I'm talking about Jake Johnson, Max Greenfield out there, the white dude on the New Girl in the neighborhood, talking about checks he got.
Yeah.
Neighborhood in New Girl. And Zoe Deschanel. Read with all of them, had great reads. Bring you back to test. Testing is the last audition. Me and Lamorne there. I'm looking now. I don't know all this stuff about a ringer. I don't know all this stuff that he done auditioned 9 times. I didn't know that until that testing. I remember talking to Lamorne and Lamorne's like, yeah, this is gonna be my 10th time auditioning. And I looked at him and I'm in my head, I'm thinking, God damn, I'm gonna really hate to take this role from him. You know, he done auditioned.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. But I'm about to beat because I had been beasting up until this point. You gotta think about this. I'm just rolling through these auditions. We want to come back.
Especially after a callback, your confidence is on a different thing. You know, yeah,
up there. So before we do the testing, they gonna tell us before we even get to the office or whatever. Yeah, no improv. They don't want you to do any improv. No improv. Okay, they just want you to stick to the script. All right. Okay. So I go in there first. I have a good audition. Solid audition. You know what I'm saying? Lamorne goes in there. I'm in the lobby because, you know, you're waiting around. I'm in the lobby. I hear, oh. What's going on? Oh. I'm hearing a different level of laughter than what and I'm thinking, what? So I go listen to the door. I said, this nigga's doing improv. He's doing improv. They said, no ad-libbing, niggas stick to the script.
wow.
He doing improv, killing, murdering. So I go sit back in my chair, thinking, this is peculiar. He gets out. Oh, Lamorne, oh my God. Just like a Hollywood Shuffle. Oh my God, we love you. We love what you did. Just like a scene out of Hollywood Shuffle. Oh my God, we love what you did. So I said, hey man. I said, they said no improv. He said, yeah, I know what they said. Fuck that. Nigga, I did improv. He's like, I wasn't listening to them. And the rest is history. He booked the show. The rest is history. Now he got an Emmy. So, you don't know what it's like for me. I also tested for, not to keep going, but I'm about to cut this short.
No, we're good.
I also tested for Empire. It was between, now let me tell you, so the crazy thing about Empire, the rapper character.
Yes.
Right?
For the play, Yaz did.
Yaz did, the youngest son. Here's the thing, because initially they didn't know if they wanted him to be a rapper, so I actually sung for my audition, but that's still the character that I was auditioning for. So, I test for that. I'm talking about who the one that got Jussie Smollett. Smollett. I know. We don't know that nigga real name no more because of Chappelle.
Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett. I read with him. Like there's tape of us reading as brothers for the testing for that. I didn't book that either. They gave it to Yaz, right? Yaz wasn't even at the final testing. Like, I think they already knew there was some dude in New York or whatever that they kind of wanted. So he wasn't even at the final testing. So you have to understand how it feels for me when I'm scrolling on Netflix or whatever app, and I'm seeing the thumbnail of Lamar on New Girl. And I'm seeing goddamn Empire. And I was like, God damn. And I was like, but I booked MacGyver.
Yeah.
MacGyver's cool. But MacGyver's cool. MacGyver made me maybe some money. But those shows, I feel like, are shows that kind of went down and really cemented a spot in television history.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like those moments. But again, you were great in MacGyver.
Thanks.
You were great. So London, let me ask you about that, because the Kanan is like one of them shows that's like in the zeitgeist. It's like one of them shows. So being on
And Ballers. He's been on 2 of them.
Yeah, they're back to back.
Yes.
And we're back to back with it. So like, so how has it been on this current run with Power being as hot as it is? I just restarted Ghost with somebody, and I was like, man, this show is so good. It's like, but I love everything in that world though. So how has it been being on this run with that character and that journey for this new thing?
Well, what's cool about Raising Kanan, first, just to be a part of the Power universe is one of those. That's a cool thing in itself. But then also it's just a different audience, and I'm glad that I was able to tap into a nice urban audience like that. And also because the character gets a lot of love, it's different from just. It's just, you know what it is, on a very basic level, Marvin's just a cool character. Mm-hmm. You know,
he always eating,
shooting guns and dress flying. But then also on the artist side, I'm glad I got a chance to kind of show some chops and just like some acting stuff that isn't necessarily comedic. I still need a good comedy joint, whatever that is. But on the serious side of acting, I'm sure it's a good tape. I'm ready to try to use the tape for when I can use it for, and see what we can do out of this. I'm like, man, just because that's a cool. I was thinking about you and your commercials. The thing about that's the cool balance that funny people have is being just the range, man. You can I'm not surprised that you land these commercials. I'm like, look at BT's likable. He's the energy I'm sure comes through the tape and as it does in person. But being on stage as much as we're on stage, I think we go into the room with a different thing. That's why I just like, man, it's one of those situations where it's just like, yo, just pass me the ball. Like I've been shooting around, I've been on the bench, and it's just like, all right, hi Adrian, okay, cool. I've been, it's just like, just give me the spot, man. It's just like, if they can. But again, that's where sometimes, between creating your own stuff and then the people, that's why I'm always able to appreciate directors or producers or whatever who are able to see who can identify talent, in that way, and be like, yo, because everyone don't get it. So when I did The Hustle, or even when I did Ballers, it was a lot of back and forth because I heard they wanted somebody else. Initially, I was told they wanted Jordan Peele to do it.
To be your role?
Yeah, for Ballers. So it took them about 2 months. I just got quiet for 2 months. I'm still in that school program. I'm like, man, what's going on? But it's cool when people, people in the room. Crazy. That's the one thing I kind of miss about doing in-person auditions is just kind of working the room a little bit. And having them say, we like that take. Can you try it this way? Sure, I can adjust. But on tape, I mean, yin and yang is. What y'all like better, with tape or in person? What works for y'all style?
Personally, I prefer tape, but I have more success in person. And I don't think they be watching all these tapes. There's no way in hell that they watching all. And then remember that video that went viral when the casting director, I think in Atlanta, said she'll turn it off after 3 seconds or some shit like. So it's like you done put in all this work to do this audition, and then to do the perfect tape, and then you don't even know if they watching it all the way. So
Yeah. So my issue is obviously a little different because with commercials, I can win. I know I'm winning on eye lines. I know exactly where everything is in the space that I'm supposed to be making up, and that's why I keep getting them. I was like, I know exactly. Okay, the car's here. This is here. This is who I'm talking to. Like, what you kind of need theatrical. You're flushing through that plus emotion, like all these other things you have to tap into for it to register, and then they have to see you as the role. They don't have to see me as the role yet. They just need to know that I can sell something. But for me, I feel like there's only a couple of different kinds of versions of an actor. Either you know your volumes very well, you know where Denzel is Denzel, but sometimes it's Denzel 10, sometimes it's Denzel 2. Not 2 as in lesser, 2 as in the volume's lower. It's a little more quieter, it's a little more what's name, and sometimes it's a little bigger, and so it's like, and then there's people that disappear into the makeup. Sometimes there's people that disappear within themselves, and like, so these different versions exist. But there's also that version where when they show up, it doesn't really matter what they do. They help push story forward. They are not distracting, and they're going to deliver whatever emotion is necessary at the time. So, like, I feel like John Goodman was great for that. I feel like that's the thing. Who just did American Fiction?
American Fiction?
He just did the movie with Spike Lee and Denzel.
Jeffrey
Wright. I think Jeffrey Wright's perfect at that. I was like, when Jeffrey Wright's no matter what the role requires, he's going to execute that in that space, and that's why he's unrecognizable and everything. Don Cheadle, I feel like, is great at that. So it's not a testament to your greatness.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, Lawrence Fishburne. These are people that they look like Morpheus and Ike are vastly different. You know what I mean? Like, they're vastly different, but this is what I'm supposed to be right now, and this is what I'm supposed to be right now. So it's like, I feel like I will execute well in that space. So it's just like, when that happens, I don't know what that looks like on in person and or on tape. I don't.
We actually got to wrap up soon, y'all.
This has been great.
Yeah, this is good.
We got to do this more.
This is more the vibe, I feel like, than even what we was doing before Lance got here.
Yes.
Like, I felt like this was good. So, yeah. So, I'm glad you had your questions. It all worked. That was
I got
perfect.
so many more. We might have to do this 3 more times.
Yeah. No, but, no, Ron G told me that a few months ago. He was like, bro, you always interviewing people. People want to hear your story, too.
Absolutely.
And so, I had that in mind when you were saying what you were saying earlier. I was like, yeah. That's why I didn't push against it, because that was in the back of my mind, Ron G saying that.
Yeah.
I be thinking, don't nobody want to hear shit I got to say.
Well, let me, I don't want to do a top 5, but I do want to do this. For this specific show, what does it feel like to have Killing It or that momentum in your favor, and where do you see it, like, what do you see as next? Because we hear now this is, I feel like this platform is very powerful for us. I feel like this is going to be a hit. I feel like we've gotten so many gems from so many people, and we've created this beautiful workspace. So, like, I know y'all both remember when it was just rough.
Right.
You just doing mics and, man, I hope something pan out, and then all of a sudden it was all going.
Right.
So what does that look and feel like?
I mean, it's always good when you feel like you got some motion going. I do feel where I'm at right now in my life, that there's the bigger doors and blessings are about to come like I've never seen. And I feel that for all of us. But I know, me personally, just living righteous and doing right, that all these doors are about to open. And with this show specifically, I do feel like we could get to a level where we're selling out theaters at the very least, if not arenas. And I think the more people see what we're doing, the bigger the guest star, the better the conversations. I think people go see what we doing. I think this is going to be a space where people, when they coming through LA, they gonna want to make sure they pull up on Killing It, and I think we gonna be out of here.
Absolutely.
So your question was like, how does this feel? And
How does when you have the momentum in your favor, how does it feel, and what do you feel like is coming next?
I mean, you know what? It's just coming from a space where, like you said, you just trying to get some stage time, and you. It's nice sometimes when because it's not about so much. It's not that the hustle stops. It's just what we decide. Like, where's the focus of the energy of the hustle? Because, like, right, I'm not just standing outside the club in the line trying to get stage time now. However, there is a different version of the hustle, which is it's like knowing how to use the momentum of the TV stuff and now comfortably including some other things like the podcast space. And now it's about, again, trying to make the transition from maybe clubs to theaters. That's just a different version of the hustle. It's like, well, now,
Right.
as opposed to just auditioning, what are we auditioning for? Is it really progressive? Because if sometimes when you're in the hustle stage, you reach for anything to stay above the water. We're like, open mics, I'm going to drive to San Diego for $25.
Right.
It's like sometimes what I will say that sometimes what landing a series, or I would imagine the commercial stuff, you do need some sort of financial palate just so you can breathe and think clear. Like, okay, cool. Okay, now I'm not worrying about falling asleep in the dark. Cool. And again, what we all try to do is get back to the art and try to keep some things going. And I'm glad, even with this, I don't know even what material might come out of these conversations each week.
Absolutely.
All kind of stuff outside of just the actual podcast itself, but the residual, the connection. You guys got guests. I never met Brian before.
Oh, wow.
And different things like that. So just even that, and because of so many different walks of life that everyone's going to be having as they sit down here, it's like, oh, sure, I never thought about that angle or this approach, because sometimes you be in your own head, you feel like it really does feel like you're the only one going through this stuff, but it's nice to hear other people's approach to moving forward and what that looks like and sounds like. So for me, it's exciting because, again, I'm really learning. I'm listening, I'm asking, but I'm also learning stuff about myself.
Yeah.
It's been great, man.
You wanted to answer real quick? Or?
Yeah, like I like a lot of what y'all said, man. Having it in your favor, having a little bit amount of comfort, it allows you to kind of organize your brain for, okay, now how do I elevate the space that I'm in? How do I move to the next thing? Because this is where all the debt that was owed, okay, cool. All the things that were stresses before, okay, cool. Now, really, what do I want my life to look like, and what do I want my career to look like, and what I want my legacy to look like? What can I invest in? What can I pivot away from? I remember drawing the hard line in the sand for touring the way I was touring. I was like, I can't do it like this no more. I was like, hard line in the sand. I'm not doing this no more.
What was that way?
It was just I put a number down. I say, if it's not this, I'm not getting on no plane. If there ain't no comma in the number, I'm not getting on no plane. And that, hey, if you're calling me, I'm telling you right now, and it's not a comma in totality. If I don't come home with commas, I'm not getting on no planes. But I had to draw a line in the sand, and nothing happened before that. So that's manifestation and blessings and God, and oh, look, okay, cool, everything's still fine. You know what I'm saying? And then being able to elevate your space from there. But yeah, it's a beautiful journey, and I love where we're at. I love this pod. I love what we're building, and I'm very excited. I'm loving what we're building because the conversation, when it's looked back upon, like even asking the guests, like, what does it all look like for you? And then blankety blank 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 happens. It's like, bro, this dude said it back on Killin, man. This podcast, he said he was gonna do exactly that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all gonna happen. It's gonna be great.
Hey man, it's been your man Justin.
London Brown is here.
BT Kingsley.
Hey man, and we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Tell your friends about us, and hey man, we gonna keep this thing going bigger and better every episode. We out.